welcome back to Free Plugin Friday. It has been a long time. Unless I put a different Free Plugin Friday last week, then it hasn't been a long time. But basically, we're bringing Free Plugin Friday back, sort of. I'm hoping to get a few videos done this week before I go away so that we have them. I don't know how many I'll get through. Running off the laptop, so I had a bunch of problems trying to do it a few weeks ago. But we're going to try and make do. I might have had to reduce the video quality a little bit of the actual plugin screen capture to avoid clicks and pops and stuff in Cubase. But we are looking at the newest plugin from Variety of Sound, and I think there's only 2 plugins since they started doing 64-bit plugins that are actually new, and this one is Epic Plate. Now, we're going to be using it on the song you just heard. You already heard me messing around a little bit with the decay and stuff. That was a reggae song I made on my Twitch channel. Links below. I just kind of play games there. I chill, and then sometimes I spend hours in Cubase making music. It's very different from this channel. It's a much more relaxed vibe, a little more mainstream kind of chill stuff, less nerdy. But if that's your kind of thing, go follow me there. So, Epic Plate is obviously a plate reverb. It's got some cool features. It's got a drive control that you can turn on and off. It's got bright and dark. It's got a preset built-in gate, pre-delay, decay, high-pass and low-pass filters, a width control, dry-wet, and, of course, an output control. Now, one thing I have noticed this plugin does is sometimes it gets stuck. My mouse gets stuck. I don't know. That might just be a Windows thing, running Windows 11. But other than that, this plugin seems really cool. So, let's have a look at this song. I think what we'll do is we'll grab it on the snare, which is this drum verb here. And you can just hear it on the snare, because snares are pretty good for showing how reverbs sound. We'll just get this little loop here and go through all the features. Now, to me, this sounds like a digital plate, I guess. It sort of sounds like a real plate. It doesn't have as much mojo going on as something like lustrous plates, but it sounds great. It's what I want in a plate plugin. Now, whether it sounds like an EMT or anything, use your ears. But to me, when I think plate, this is the kind of plugin I want. It's this kind of shimmery. It doesn't sound too big in a 3D sense like a hall does. It's much more kind of color than that, but it also has this kind of nice, it's just, I don't know, I just like plate reverbs. So I'm going to turn the drive off first. We're just going to play this loop, look at the different controls. So let's look at the bright and dark. Very different EQ curve there, but even with the bright on, it doesn't have that harsh kind of digital reverbiness. And it sounds a lot nicer than the early digital plates. Even though they've got their own thing coming on, it's a lot nicer than that. I might just turn off the delays because they're a bit distracting. Okay, let's have a look. We'll leave it on the bright. Let's have a look at the pre-delay. Goes from 0 all the way up to 200. I love a pre-delay, especially on vocals. I usually set a pre-delay on vocals between 60 and 120, depending on the tempo of the song and how crowded it is. Drums, I wouldn't do it too much, but it just allows a little bit of space so you don't actually swamp the whatever you're putting the reverb on, and that clarity comes through, but it has that space. So I reckon we set it about here. Let's have a look at the decay. For more really short. So nice and long. And see, this is really long reverb. Doesn't have that graininess going on. Like, this is a very transient thing. There's no graininess. It just sounds very smooth, like I expect a plate to sound. So let's bring it back a little bit. Let's have a look at the high pass, low pass. So let's turn them all the way to the most open. So high pass goes from 40 Hertz to 400. Low pass goes all the way down to 400 hertz. So you can get really nice and dark there. Okay, we've got the width control. Mono. Stereo, and everywhere in between. I love a width control and a reverb. It really lets you control how that space feels. Of course, dry, wet, we're using it on Ascend. But if you want to use it on the channel, obviously you can use it there. And output, control output, and on and off. So let's look at the two more interesting features, I guess, is the gate and the drive. So you can turn the drive on here. I always love drive in a reverb because it adds that character. So start off with no drive. I might just bring the volume up a little bit so you can really hear the reverb. The drive. Got this little meter here too. Off. You can hear that snare is now a little bit more compressed going into the reverb. So it does seem like that drive is before the reverb and allows you to get those sources. We might look at it on guitar too, see what it does there. Now let's look at the gate, assuming we're listening to drums. Off. On. Let's just adjust it to get a cool gate sound. Real 80s there. Go with a dark kind of mono gate. Or stereo, take out some of that low end. Bring that drive back in. No reverb. Cool. Alright, so let's go. No gate. Right. Bring the decay down a little bit. Bit of pre-delay. And listen to it in the mix. Or just all the drums first. There's a few other things going through there. Off. I'll just bring it down a little bit. And everything. Nice bit of decay there. Now let's have a look at it on guitar. Pull up this other copy. Let's see what that drive does. Off. It's subtle, but it does give it a little bit of colour. What about dark on the guitar? If you're not going for the full reggae thing, if you're going for something a little bit more subtle, it's not a bad sound. The bat. Mono. Sounds more like an amp reverb, but platey, like a really, really expensive amp reverb. Gate. I like the pre-delay on it. It's kind of cool. but really adds some nice lush width when you bring that width up. Delays. The delays are feeding it too, I believe. That's basically the Epic Plate. I've got a few little vocals here. Let's just have a listen to it on that because then you can kind of hear it on a voice. It's the same one. It's this guitar sound here. So let's put that pre-delay up.
Your love. Your life. Your love.
What about with the dark mode?
Your life. Your love.
So it's really cool, especially for a free plugin. It doesn't have any of that graininess. It does not sound cheap. It sounds like a plate. Is it going to knock off all my other plate reverbs that have modulation and all this? No. Is it a quick and easy plugin to get a cool plate-like reverb sound? Yes. It is another awesome thing from Variety of Sound. And it doesn't seem to be that CPU intensive. I haven't really loaded it up. But compared to something like Lustrous Plates, which uses a lot of tech to kind of get that sound, that is very CPU intensive, where this seems pretty chill. So go check it out. Epic Plate, Variety of Sound, and I will see you next time.